getting something in on the audio now. If I could just get a confirmation over Twitch chat. And let me know how the quality is. I can always adjust it as necessary. Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? 3 pieces of bread? Any confirmation on my audio stream? I was testing. Any confirmation on the audio stream, and then I'll go ahead and get this started. Or if I'm coming in too lightly, not at all, any of those problems, just let me know. Thank you, Diabolorist. So, who are all of you people? You know, I choose a nice username so you all know who I am. I have no idea who any of you are. So, yes, I'm an avid Lich user. Always been reaching that. And, yeah, of course, Wizard front end. It's the only way. It's the minimal lag. First thing I'd like to do is go through my overall stats and just kind of explain a couple of things. First thing that I'm going to point out, I'm not super capped. I'm 1 mil past capped. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, it's not much given, you know, even the level of Taverkin, Methace, and the other super post-capped wizards out there. Yes, right, Methace, I just gave you a call out, but 30 seconds, you'll hear that I did that. So the first thing that I want to do is highlight that I'm not super post-capped. I'm really just little over a mil past capped. Secondly, I'm encumbered as hell. Whatever. Deal with it. A halfling. I'll go over some quick things in my inventory. Bunch of crap. Apparently I have a thin stick in there for some reason as well. Miscellaneous stuff that I just haven't cleared out because I'm a horrible person. As far as gear that I'm using 7X heavily grip-padded doubles. Pretty basic. Other than that, I realize that that's decent, but still, overall grand scheme of things, relatively easy to get my hands on. Other, of course, notable thing is my longbow. Let me know if the stream is lagging or anything. Might just be me talking. There is about a 30-second delay, so if you start to chat to me in LNet or something, you'll see it eventually. My longbow is currently 7X, heavily sighted, 3-socket fusion. There are 2 orbs in there right now. The first one is a +10 dex bonus. Yeah, that's right. And the other is a +13 spell aim orb. Neither of which are actually charged at the moment. other than that, if I go into my skills, they're relatively basic. Um, they follow my own guidance. Armor use, I'm trained off for doubles. I do have 1 rank in disarm. I just did a little bit of training for the disarm mechanics and what 1 rank of something does. Yes, Spellcaster, I haven't gotten the tier 5 ensorcel on it yet. I've just been so disheartened by the upcoming haste changes that I really haven't run to hunt my sorcerer or really even play the game. So the things that I really wanted to point out going through my stats and skills right now is that I'm capped out on ranged weapons already. I'm capped out on spell aiming, 1x mana control, 2x perception. I mean, my major elemental is a little underleveled. That's really the only potential AS that I have available at the moment. And that's another 32 ranks, hypothetical, plus 16 AS compared to where I am now. Other than that, my AS is completely, definitively capped unless I go the enhansive route, which I am going to be doing for this hunt, but other than that, it's, plus 16 AS, that's all I have. That's the only growth that I really have on my character, and then the major elemental will also be giving me, yay DS that you'll see I really need it. Other than that, let's go ahead and we'll step away from the dais for now. Just go over some of the spells that I have active. I did pick up one of those 1750 self-chargers, so I am running bravery and heroism, so yay to more additional AS, so this will be slightly artificially inflated. I would not anticipate a normal post-cap wizard to have those available. The other thing that I have is I do have a self-charging, self-control item that I picked up at Evans Gate a couple years ago. Thank you, Fellcaster, Sarah, that took a while. The 750 self-charger came from last Dusk Rune, whatever. Last paid event, I paid somebody a lot of money for it. I think it ran me about 8 mil or so. It was a really prominent warrior who actually isn't on Elnet, and it's surprising when you think about how much merchanting he does. Premium guy, so. So enough about this. Alright, dangerous greater construct. We can do that. I also do have a familiar talisman. Hey, Methes, you might get it if they continue to harass me non-stop and delete all of my freaking forum posts on the officials. I swear I've gotten about 5 posts deleted there in the last couple days. I am a halfling. I'll go into info as well. I have big statted. I opted for slightly lower constitution as opposed to agility. Other than that, of course, a influence tank. And yes, you're right. And Seirin, also to that point, that's something else that I wanted to address. I'm going to be hunting an old top Phaedral. I mean, quite honestly, this is by far the easiest of all of the quote-unquote capped hunting grounds. So, I mean, compared to something like Scatter, it's nothing. Hey, look, it already tried to disarm me. Just do a quick confirmation. So, do have enough arrows for this hunt. Got caught right there without haste up, so nice 6-second round time. Janissaries are a bit pain in the ass to deal with sometimes. Seers are squishy as all hell. Need to put my enhansives on as well, so you'll see some scroll going on here. that's fine. Feel free to point out anything if I don't post info or something else like that. I will show you my post enhanced stats. Now, I have not yet charged up my bow because I do currently have a high bid on a plus 13 ranged bonus item that I'm trying to pick up, and so I don't want to charge it up before adding that third item to it. Let me see where I am in the stream. Yes, so the rest of my post enhanced stats, I do have a couple of ranged enhancements, some spell aiming enhancements. It's really overall not anything too amazing. It's pretty mediocre. I mean, my big investment has always been my bows because that's what I'm known for. The other thing that I do want to point out is that the reason that this build is so successful is really because of like super, triple, quadruple dipping into dexterity. So as a halfling, I already have ridiculous dexterity as it is. Again, I'm missing the plus 10 bonus for my bow at the moment, but the Phantom Dex weighting does apply to ranged weapons. So when utilizing a longbow, I think I've seen up to plus 11 phantom damage. So we'll go ahead and actually try to just cast this FF down a little bit. That was quite a few casts to kill compared to the bow. And we'll do the same. And of course, every cast that you do, wonderful Itzir automatically hiding on you. So what I was saying was that I have seen up to plus 11 phantom damage on a longbow attack. The results of this is, well, you only need a crit tier 4 to kill something. I think that is around crit 7, dealing about 40 damage. Actually, I'll... Oh, I got picked up by Griffin. This will be fun to die in my live stream. So, while I have a few open moments right now, yes, so I do see plus 11, up to plus 11 phantom crit damage on the longbow attacks, and when you're dealing with only a crit tier 4 for a necessary kill to an eye shot, when 11 of that is coming from phantom damage, I've seen kill shots on Seers that I think are as low as 17 base damage. 2 evades at 3 seconds each. Some other random damage. What? 6, 7 casts there. Just kind of doing it for comparison purposes between that and actually using my bow. And I realized that on the surface we're dealing with a 537 AS, and as I pointed out earlier, the room to grow on that is not that much on the major elemental side. And other than enhancements, which I already have enhancements, you know, it's not getting much higher. I might be able to cap out at, what, 560? Oh, and my longbow just fell. So I would have just lost a wonderfully expensive item on that. Alright, that crit type tracker was the one that Dreamin was working on. It was not fully functional. That's a lot of spam to subject you guys to, so we won't do that. So, again, disarming. That would have been 10 seconds. Would have lost my bow right there. If you do want me to scroll up, just let me know. I mean, I really think that a lot of the headaches, bolts do have very good damage factors. It's really the inability to aim. You know, unaimed, Okay, hit the eye. Oh, so two things to really consider. The elemental critical tables are atrocious. When dealing with even something like, take Crushing has the rank 5 head critical for death, Piercing has a rank 4 eye critical for death, and most of the elementals have maybe 5, mostly it's 6s that are required to really kill a critter. And it's just not really advantageous in any meaning of the word. So here you'll see me basically ping a greater construct to death. It's really the only way I can fight him to accomplish this bounty for killing a grizzled one. At least I can do it, which other wizards can't that don't use a bow. Just a habit of checking XP. So I do realize that, yes, there's a lot of grounds to nerf haste, especially when I just killed Ibzir Seer in one shot in 1 second. I can see the reason for that. But the problem is that, let's take a look at this range DS right now. That's a 267 range DS on the Seer. Let's try to find another one and we'll cast at it. There's alright, fresh new Seer. That's a 200 higher DS. Looks like my spirit dropped in the process as well. So, that's the only reason that range is effective on these guys. Okay, it's about 100 difference right there, but we're dealing with such a lower DS factor on something like a ranged attack relative to spell. You know, I said it in my post on the current status of wizards. It's really, ranged became the new spell aim. These guys don't have advantageous ranged DSs anymore. Let's check a Herald. Oh, a Herald has a 435 spell DS. We'll pretend that haste doesn't exist for a 402 ranged DS. Now I'm getting RT stacked. First mechanic. Still a little low on spirit, I'll just turtle. So, really the problem is you can't aim bolts. So, we're dealing with, basically, gotta throw a shit ton of bolts at a creature to try to kill it. The damage factors are good, I'll give them that, but the crit tables are not good. So it really doesn't make up for the fact that the damage factors are good. Because really the way that we're going to be relying on actually killing these creatures is blood loss. So that's the reason that we kind of did the hex spells. Still waiting on this. See, if I was a sorcerer right now, I could still be functioning at full capacity because who cares about spelling sorcerer? Again, nothing certain wizards have because we need. Alright, we'll cast 555. There. Let's see if the next beat. Maybe I'll just killing somebody right there. I'm glad I got to cast Meteor Swarm in my live stream. The biggest problem with Meteor Swarm is you can't actually watch what happens. Is this around where was that? I think I was in this room. My familiar's set to auto follow now, so it's one of the problems. Several flaming it's nine. Spirit finally recovered. This guy's yelling initiative. Okay, Man, I didn't realize how much Meteor Swarm actually sucks. It took forever to activate. Geez, shows how much I know my own spells. It's lasting longer than I anticipated, too. No, Sayrin, I ran the hell away the second I cast it. But apparently the players can't get hit. And there's no way I'm stepping anywhere close to where I just cast it either. I guess so. I mean, look, I've seen faster spells go off. Something like there's another nonsense that Haste helps with. I've seen faster activations from 125 than I have from 525. Oh, it's fun when they spam E-Wave. And I guess Meteor Swarm is already done over there? Oh, it's still pretty... Meteor Swarm is pretty well. I mean, it reminded me of I'm still not fried. You know, I've been hunting now for 20 minutes. Like I said, this is the short also capped hunting grounds. So, I might be wrecking these things with, 2 RPG films. Yes, this is my typical hunting ground, because honestly, I cannot handle anything higher than this right now. I do not feel comfortable with my hunting abilities to head over to Nelamar, or definitely not Scatter. You know, like I said, even though I'm capped, grand scheme of things, I'm not really that far post-capped. Until I do cap out Major Elemental, I really don't feel comfortable hunting anywhere besides Kentucky. And I really don't think a bow would be effective anywhere else either. I mean, I'm really just, doing the bare minimum I can to get XP and cap. Plus, I honestly don't know the mechanics of the Rift. I've never bothered going there. It hasn't really interested me ever since I picked up a self-control self-charger. It's the prospects of hunting in a location that I can't use all of the fun things I've picked up just doesn't interest me. Oh, so let's take a look at this. I just got wrecked. So Stone Skin, that did absolutely nothing, and apparently I only have an 418 spell DS? Are you kidding me? That's abysmal. And for some reason, Web didn't last nearly as long as I would have anticipated. Fortunately for ridiculously heavy armor, I got saved. Again, that's one of those reasons I was pretty much double leathers instead of, full, although it was an abnormal shot, so I mean, like, my DSs just suck. Yeah, ranged is not really strong on DS, that's why I'm finally fried after. So we can head back to town. So I got wrecked there by a spell because my range DS is abysmal when you're using a two-hander. That's a pretty systemic problem with the parry equation, just how it takes that into account. My melee DS is acceptable, but man, I even keep Sign of Dissipation up, so I have that going for me all the time, but just taking a look at some of these DS numbers, consider the fact that I am spelled to hell and back. You know, I try to keep all the sorcerer spells up on me as well, but I'm a million post cap. And with a 434 standing DS, not good. I mean, that's one of the biggest shortcomings of the range build. And again, like I pointed out, it's not really for lack of training. It's just the way it is. Awesome. Point out my spells again. I do keep 404 up for the range bonus, for accuracy, and same with self-control, plus using a heavily sighted bow helps my accuracy a lot. Looks like 1 out of 3 dropped, but other than that, completely self-spelled for my DS, and from a build perspective, I have 100 ranks in Wizard, so I'm getting the max DS contribution from both 905 and 913, and still sitting on a DS where I just got wrecked by a spell. And it's going to be worse if you're a two-handed weapon war mage. So this is pretty, because you're dedicating so many more TP towards just your weapon skill as well as combat maneuvers. Oh. So, while I have people on, when I have a captive audience, I'll go ahead and comment this out as well. Jastelin, only person on my I want to kill on sight. To Saverin's point, I would argue they sacrifice more because the ranged build utilizes less TP. It leaves us a lot more potential spell ranks relative to a two-handed weapon war mage. It's really just combat maneuvers. Because as a ranged war mage, you really do need to train in combat maneuvers to keep a competitive AS, and that's 12 physical, 8 mental per level. That's a ton. So, you can argue that you might not need to train in such wonderful things, or such other options, like you don't need as much magic item use. But, if you wanted to have the same, you just wouldn't have the same amount of TP to have the same level of DS as what we see with the ranged war mage. Let me actually take, I know I did those equations out. Yeah. Let's actually just go to delete this guide because I'm so pissed off. So it's 28, 47 TP for a range build, and that's what I had identified just as the forge. Two-hander is 34, 46. So 16 more physical with 1 less mental. It is a lot more TP than, sorry, only 6 more physical. Take a look at what other differences. Okay, so when I have this evaluation, that's with no spell aiming. So if you want spell aiming, that's an additional 6-3. And with the recent changes for the plan 513 no longer reducing melee AS, I would recommend that more mages pick up spell aiming now. So we're looking at 40-49 for spell aiming with a two-hander. Oh, of course I just happen to have this. Hold on. Download. Typical level 1 placed for growth stats yield 43-45. So, might be able to pick up that build if you negate anything else that you need, like climbing, swimming, armor use. Might even out around level 60. So it's doable in the long term, but also with the proposed changes, you would then also need the addition. You're right, Sam, but that wouldn't materially change the TP contribution that you get, because that's not based on bonuses, it's based on pure stats, if anything. You're still looking at mid-40s. Wouldn't compensate for 49. And then that's before having elemental lores with proposed changes. Then 40-55 and 28-50. And again, that's before armor use, climbing, swimming, and only 1x perception on the two-hander build. So that's really the big difference between the two builds and why range ends up having advantageous DS calculations, just because you can get a few more spells out of the build. Okay, it looks like hypothetically if you play stats like a derp, you can... Oh, this is a level 0. You can get 52 mental training points at level 1, or level 0 rather. And 40 physical. So you would still be TP starved at level under the new guise of having 1x. I mean, I don't doubt that your skills are what you say. I'm just telling you I'm doing out all the calculations, and you can do that. You can't do that from level 0. You definitely need to make trade-offs, and you need to wait until your stats grow adequately to support that build. And even taking a look at this, it's like around 34 before you're breaking even on TP. No, I completely agree with you. It's absolutely bare bones to start with. But then, consider that your build right now is, yes, air lore, armor use, climbing, swimming. If you also need to factor in continuing with 1x lores under the current plan proposals, you're never going to recover on TP. You're always going to be stuck in probably not even double leathers. Oh, and it's time to hunt again. Really, a War Mage in Bulls? It doesn't make too much sense to me. Although I just deal with the hindrance, and I'd always take doubles over anything. Yeah, I think the spell hindrance needs to be able to be reduced. It's too aggressive for wizards. It's less for the sorcerer. But what level is your War Mage at? Because it's less about AS and DS resolved attacks, it's much more about combat maneuver related attacks. And that's really the only reason I wear doubles. It's good level. Speaking of hindrance, I've been talking non-stop for 45 minutes, so I'm actually just going to shut up and hunt for a few. I'm sure many of you will be happy if you haven't already muted this stream. Maybe I'll actually concentrate on the bounty as well. And you can see how fun it is to just blink something to death that actually has armor like a greater construct. Who are surprisingly vulnerable to magic once you actually remove their armor. Take a look, I'm actually getting hit when just sitting in offensive, because unlike every single other pure class, we need to be in defensive. Yeah, Paco, you missed my wonderful explanation beforehand. I'm post-capped, a mil past capped, and the only potential I have for training to further increase my AS is plus 16 to my spell AS only, um, training in major elementals. Wizards just have... The big problem is that once we hit capped, we're usually already maxed out in our AS for minor elemental, 425, and minor elemental 425 and major elemental 513. We really don't have any other way of post-cap training to increase our AS. Whereas, take something like a bard, they can continue training. Deal with something like a bard, they can go up to 2x combat maneuvers, 2x spell. They can even further train up air lore. They just have a ton of options post-capped. Deal with a sorcerer, cleric, or other pure, and they can go up to 3x spells. Every single rank is further increasing their CS, more or less. I mean, but we just don't even have that potential. We're dealing with a class that has an ASDS resolution attack. That's it. You know, it's just spelling. And just enhancings. And I'm a half. So, you know, I pretty much have the highest dex stat bonus that I can get. And here I'm tossing out 514. So plus 16. My theoretically max self-spelled AS. Oh, and that's with signs up as a COL member. Would be 530. And that's 530 for unaimed attack. So consider something like another class that uses unaimed attack, something like a paladin, where, yeah, you're getting the 600 plus AS. I think they get something like 660 sustainable AS for an unaimed attack. Arguably, we have slightly more advantageous damage factors, but like I was saying before you arrived, they have more advantageous critical tables than what we see out of elemental attacks. A Maul will do a death crit on tier 5. I'm not mistaken, and somebody out there can fact check me on this. Most of the spells are tier 6 for death crits. You're definitely not seeing any elemental with a tier 4 death crit like piercing has. Oh, now I would be dead if I didn't have base stuff. And the wonderful soon-to-be player unfriendly cone of lightning. Another saving grace of the class is that you can cast that when you need to. I was actually pretty disappointed with impact criticals from air. I remember being pretty underwhelmed by them. The real strength of them is their incredibly high knockdown capability. You know, I would more often default to just a minor fire, as you're seeing me cast right now, and just utilize Tanis Bolt as an opener just to knock them down with a single target that I'm fighting against. Otherwise, oh, shiny. Okay, the gemstone. That's fine. And I just got this. Never utilize. I did cast Meteor Swarm earlier in this hunt, just for shits and giggles. But no, I never use Meteor Swarm. It's incredibly unsafe. Just cause a bunch of people to rage, although I have been taking a look for GMs out there. Let's take. So, these are all Wizard Guildmasters. Sagoth, Jastelyn is on my instant kill list. She's mega con. Oh, not her. That's fine. I want to find that Flamberge thing. Janissary that ran away. Where was I? Oh yes, I really only utilize 505 as a single target disabler. So something like, instead of burning a 10 mana E-Wave on just the single Herald that I'm fighting, I'll open up with 505 and roll to 9 and 6. It's just not fun, it's not as fast as my bow. I mean, but again, we had a discussion before Paco arrived about the implications of ODS. I was very heavily dependent on small statues, probably level 65 to 90. And then, I mean, hunting in tough 8 post 90, it just gets easier. And this is also, again, mainly to Paco, because it's clearly not capped with a lot of the other people that arrived are. This is the easiest capped hunting. It's the shortest capped hunting. So that would have been 24 seconds without haste to kill that guy. That would have been against a Herald. Of course, I shot the Seer, but the Seer's let's look at one that Janissary as well. Let's go to it's got a hand so let's go. See, so that's what you cast a new wave and eventually kill a couple of them. Alright, I think I'm gonna get one. Alright, back to town. Yeah, 20 ranks above full leather is like, I think you need 8 to train that off entirely. Sarah, back me up on this one. You might know better offhand. It's 8, maybe 4. That's expensive at 15 TP, which, 4 goods. Number of armor ranks to fully train off hindrance of full leather. I mean, I think it's only 4 ranks for the combat maneuver penalties. Sorry, it's actually my mic, if nothing else. 4. So you have 16. So, I've also seen a lot of talk over in... I think Sapphire is actually the person that's selling the new bow that I want. So I've also seen a lot of discussions over in the official forums about the potential utility of the wizard class versus some of the others, and that was actually something I'd like to take a look at now. My brother gave me 2 scrolls that look pretty nice. So I'm now logged in with my sorceress. And here's something that sorcerers have on us hands down. I don't care what you say. This has to be probably one of the best utilities ever. Starting off with phase, determine whether or not a box is trapped. Boom. Open up the box with 125 if it's not trapped. Wizards can pop boxes. In my experience, it's so horribly unsafe, I would never do it. Let's pull up a few stats. I'm not really hiding who my sorceress is. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, it's also on my wiki entry page. I'm not trying to hide it. Everybody knows I bought this character anyway. But hey. Just the ability to open up your own boxes is just so nice. Popping, not nearly as reliable. I mean, I've had 0 deaths associated with opening up boxes on my sorceress versus... Doesn't matter, 1 death would be enough to make me not want to give it. I'll head back to Whirling for a second because... that was a waste. Okay. Yeah, I just find popping's not nearly as reliable, whereas you're guaranteed to know whether or not the box is trapped through using phase. It's just incredibly safe. So I'll do a quick hunt on my sorceress as well, just for a baseline comparison. Getting a little longer than I was anticipating on this feed for tonight. I do plan on trying to save these through Twitch to have them available and maybe draw some additional attention. So, as far as the sorceress goes, I've kind of already shown the info. Definitely not fixed statted. It's really not hanging me up either. The low strength is kind of impactful just because I am an absolute pack rat. I think just 4x doubles, again, doubles I'm a big fan of. As far as training, doubles 1x in most everything. I just started working on spell aiming. I got necromancy high enough to make it C3 on the ensorcel contribution towards my necro energy nonsense. Spell ranks, what is that, like 270 or so? I just got bored working on spells, so I decided to bump up spell aiming a little bit. Not to really the point where it's effective yet. So, sorceress can't even touch constructs. Not even going to pay attention to it. Looks like a few more people came out hunting as well. Good thing they weren't here when I was casting Meteor Swarm. So I'd like to point out a couple things, just boom, this 5-mana spell. First off, that's ridiculous. We're dealing with a higher base damage before the critical levels right there. I mean, 107 for something that costs 1 mana less. Saren pointed out that even with 905 full offensive, basically capped AS, we're dealing with maybe 100 damage. But then also dealing with that additional critical level. Just casting and running away a little bit. I mean, one-shot kill constantly against Seers. It's less about this initial warding failure, but then having 3 additional... No. At least 3 additional crit attacks associated with it, and I get that this is their level 19 spell. It's like comparing this with Immolation, which I can actually do as well. That's a lot of additional crit rounds that you do not see out of Immolation. And Immolation does have that aspect of kind of locking them down a little bit through putting them on fire. There's my flamberge. So Immolation does put them on fire, but you're dealing with an extra attack round of damage with Dark Cataclysm, and you also get a mana return with Dark Cataclysm. So it ends up being so much better, in my opinion, compared to Immolation. I'd give up that burning effect on Immolation instantly if it meant having additional damage cycles like what Dark Cataclysm has. So you can see a little more realistic damage factors for Disintegrate against something like a War Griffin. This is much more in line with what I would anticipate. However, I'm still about 30 or so spell ranks off from being capped. Maybe another 10 or so CS potential out of there. I mean, again, I can continue to train and improve my CS. Yeah, okay, Catalyst. Got it. Thank you. What I call it, Cataclysm? It's because my sorcerer buddy, when I started playing, named himself Cataclysm. He proceeded to borrow my 10x double leathers and 10x longbow when I took a break the first time and sold them, even though he promised to hold them. I mean, as far as the spell goes, CS warding, being able to just not concentrate on my stance at all. Stance is a heavy contributor to combat maneuver defenses. And just go nuts, just start casting. I mean, it's incredibly mindless. Relatively safe. I have seen a lot of forum discussions. I do feel like Cloak of Shadows is an incredibly strong defensive ability of sorcerers that wizards obviously don't have. I feel like haste is the answer to Cloak of Shadows. Now, Cloak of Shadows is not perfect, but it's pretty strong. It's a great get you out of jail free card. And it looks like that might kind of be the intent of Stop Time, but Taverkin brought up a great point in the official thread. If you cast Stop Time and you stop time when a critter is turtled, you just wasted your entire ability. And I habitually just went to offensive stance for that cast. You just wasted the entire ability, so you might queue up like 100 mana worth of casts just to find out that the thing was in defensive the entire time. So, you know, the thoughts that I had on on Time Stop is like, it's a great concept. Let's see if I can sacrifice this thing. Oh, I'm silenced. Do I need to stun them? I don't know. I can't do that. I think I'm still silenced. Spell at 23 seconds. That's bye-bye. Sit here for a moment. So yeah, time stop, whatever the heck they're calling it, time warp, do it again. My big concern is that if a creature is stuck in defensive when the time warp starts, you're going to have no indication of it, and you could have just wasted your daily ability and as much mana as you can cast in 30 stopped seconds, or whatever the heck it is. So not having that feedback about their stance really destroys the spell, in my opinion. If it forced them into offensive stance, most amazingly powerful thing I've ever considered. But without that, I don't know. It's a little lackluster to me. Still need to find something to sacrifice to try to get some mana back. And that's the other thing. Sorcerers can now use... Also, look at this. Initiates are weak as hell, but look at the damage on mana disruption. Freaking level 2 spell. 3 casts to kill it? Are you kidding me? Sorcerers have nothing to play out. I mean, I do admit sorcerers have worse combat maneuver defenses than wizards, because haste is more powerful than Cloak of Shadows, but Cloak of Shadows isn't that bad at all. And Seirin and the Cleric still absolutely win because 319 is overpowered as hell. So, reading Paco's comment, yeah, that wouldn't work though. Capped hunting grounds, you need them in offensive. I mean, I know Taverkin does something like 5 call wins on a lich in order to ensure that it's... Is that enough? I suppose. That's right away also. And now no. I'm not having anyone sacrifices to. And I killed him. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, I know Taverkin sometimes cast call win up to 5 times or so just to get a lich into offensive side, even be able to hit it with spells. You really need to force down the stance. And then not having that feedback, there we go. That is Sorcerer's answer to to Mana Leech, and in my opinion, it's pretty damn powerful. I'm not really hunting. I'm just hunting for fun at this point, just to highlight some things. So here's Pain. This is an incredibly overpowered spell as well, because it forces round time on them. Spell. How about that? And now I have an animate that's attacking. That's fighting for me. You know, sorcerers just get some fun stuff, and they are in absolutely no way underpowered, and I think they have more than enough tricks available to them to really be concerned about wizards and haste. And the other thing to consider is that they can do scroll infusion, all other sorts of things. They can get haste just as easily. So now just let my animate fight for me, because why not? You know, you can utilize Pain to kill a creature in 3 to 4 casts, depending on what lore you go with, and doesn't leave any wounds. So, my Griffin's in perfect shape. It'll last for 10 minutes and just fight things for me. But can I pet it? I can pet it. Yeah, and I mean, if you can pet an animate, that's... I mean, come on, what more can you want? Then you can also equip them with stuff. I've seen people do that. I know there's animate fights that used to occur. Yeah, animate is treated just like a party member. And it's also absorbing shots for me. That's not attacking me, that's attacking the animate. So, you know, 50% chance that it's not attacking me, that's pretty good defenses right there. The best defenses is to never get attacked. Arguably, I guess my animate could attack the construct until the thing is done. Alright, that's enough for this hunt with my sorceress. So I really don't think clerics or sorcerers really have anything to worry about with wizards' ability to have haste. I think they all have adequate toys and abilities open to them, so the concerns about haste and rapid fire really don't matter. I can understand the rapid fire concerns, but that's really... the reason that rapid fire is so successful is because of the horrible design of bolt attacks, which I went into in my post about the problems with spell aiming as an attack form in general. So, I'm fine with them nerfing rapid fire, and Taverkin does agree with that as well. It's really much more about, if they need to fix the design of spell aiming, and I'm even fine with keeping it being rank 6 criticals for kills with a lot of those different elemental types, but you need the ability to aim, and don't mess with the damage factors when you're dealing with, even at a natural critical 9, it can always be crit randomized down to a 5, which does not guarantee a death crit like it does with something like a maul shot to the head. So, even aiming and having those high DFs as spell aiming, I still wouldn't really consider that overpowered, especially when you consider our complete lack of post-cap potential, unless you go with something like an immolation build, just because CS can continue to grow, whereas AS via spell aiming caps out pretty much the second that you cap. I'm gonna log off Sorceress, check back in with Whirlin. And because I did turn in a bounty, I'm still at numbed. But I've been streaming now for about an hour 10, talking non-stop. I am pretty happy to see 9 people in the channel. I mean, given the fact that it's freaking Gemstone, I feel like 9 people watching it is probably half the active player base. Maybe even a couple GMs are watching. I am going to plan on continuing these for the next few days, maybe an hour here and there. I will do my best to post both on the official forums and PC when I do plan on doing these streams. And I also do plan on saving this on my Twitch account. I have no idea how that actually works. I've never done it, but we'll see. But any questions, feel free to reach out to me via LNet, although realistically, I'm really not going to be clocking in much playtime except for the times that I'm streaming over these next few days to really point out the problems with these proposed haste and rapid fire nerfs, and really trying to point out some of the comparisons between spell aiming and pretty much the way that every other pure class works. But feel free to contact me via, hell, you can send an email to my play.net account. Been incredibly active on the posts that actually get posted on the official forums. I think about, like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I think about half of them have been filtered by Alois and Estelid in the last 5 days or so. I've definitely gotten a lot of warning emails about official forum content. But definitely feel free to shoot me an email or message via PC or my play.net account. I'll give you a reply and tell you what's happening, and answer any questions that you may have. But for tonight, that's it. Sorry to the people that arrived late and missed half the show. I will try to save this on Twitch. And thanks for stopping by. I'm surprised at even 9 people showing up.